Hello?
Doing good.
All righty. Good morning. All right. Teresa, would you mind just cracking that so that people can come in, but then thank you. All right. I'm just going to make sure I've got my volume set. Okay. I was going to say, feel free. All right. We should be all set. Awesome. All righty. So no, you're good. I've got some people on Zoom. So hopefully we've got a little bit of a crowd that comes in. Sometimes people filtrate in a little later too, but since I've got you guys here on time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So basically the purpose of orientation is I guess I'm Liz, in case you did not know. I know you know. Jeremy, I'm Liz. I'm the one who's been emailing you profusely. So the purpose of orientation today is actually to show you guys.
Look at this. We got one coming in with the round.
Hey. All righty. So the purpose of orientation today is going to be just to kind of show you guys the resources that are available to you kind of at the touch of a button. Nice to see you. And this is resources that are specific to Ballantyne as a market center, as opposed to resources for KW as a whole, which you guys have access to those as well. But this is going to be Ballantyne specific website. And I'm just going to kind of show you everything that's on here, teach you guys how to navigate through it. I will give you a heads up. One, I do talk fast, so please tell me to slow down if I'm going too fast. And two, there is a lot of information on here. So at any time, if you guys feel like you have questions, feel free to go ahead, like raise your hand, shout out your question. I know for me, I always forget my questions by the end. So I'd rather you guys ask them now. And if you end up, oh, look at this. Awesome. I'm getting a round of applause. There we go. I love it. I love it. And if you guys miss any, if you guys have any questions and you didn't get a chance to ask them, we'll do questions at the end as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get started here real quick. First and foremost, our website is kwbresources.com. If you guys have never been there, that is going to be kind of the hub for all Ballantyne information. And this is going to be something that you'll see that you're drawn back to pretty repeatedly, I'd like to say. So it's kwbresources.com. I've got it highlighted right there. If you guys in class today, if you have your laptops, you're welcome to follow along if that matches your learning style. But if you'd rather just sit back and watch, if that works for you, there's no right way to do this or wrong way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to click on this. First, we're going to click on this new agent button right here on the home page. Just because that's going to be a good starting point for you guys as you're starting out here. On this left-hand side, you'll see that there's a getting started little blurb. At the bottom here is a learn more button. It is actually going to take you to Scott Leroy, or actually, sorry, that's the next button. So this is going to take you to a little checklist here. This checklist just kind of breaks down the process of onboarding. It shows you different things that you can be expecting to be asked, what you'll be asked to provide, different things you'll be expecting, when you can hear from certain people, who you'll be hearing from. It just kind of breaks it all down for you in one concise little sheet. So if you guys are in the midst of onboarding and you're not quite sure where you might be, go ahead. You're welcome to look at this sheet and just kind of, okay, yeah, self-check off. Okay, I've been there. I've done this part. Awesome. But the real thing that I like to kind of talk about on this is things that you can begin doing immediately, because especially if you guys have never owned your own business, it is kind of very open-ended when you get in here. And I feel like that can be a little overwhelming. So just some easy things that you guys can get started with. One being to check out kwbresources.com. Like I said, there's a lot on here and a lot you're going to find that's very useful to you. So please do check that out as much as you'd like. Kind of navigate it, in your free time in the next few days if you've got a moment just to sit down. I usually suggest that you actually go through and just try and see if you can go through it like we did in class today, just so you can kind of familiarize yourself and get used to where things are on the website. Obviously, though, if you have any questions or you can't find something, always shoot me an email. I'm happy to get back to you on that. But the next thing on here is going to be the office calendar. So the office calendar is going to be what holds all of our trainings and things like that, all the meetings that we've got going on here in the Market Center. And that's going to be something that's found on this website as well. So I'll show you guys how to access the training calendar, because that's probably going to be your new best friend, especially when you guys are first starting out and wanting to get a hold of all the information you can. That's going to be a really great one for you guys to look at. So I will show you that as we get a little bit further in here. The next is joining Ignite. Ignite begins on September 12th. We are so excited. Ignite is really great. It has actually been revamped recently. So there is 20 sessions as opposed to what was previously 9 sessions. So it's very thorough. We're going to get so much information, and we've got some amazing instructors who are going to be here for it. Our instructors are actually part of our top 20% in the Market Center. So they're going to be giving you hands-on experience, their takeaways from what they've encountered as an agent in this area. So it's just really phenomenal. They've all got plenty of advice and information to share with you, and they're so happy to be receptive of your questions and give you as much guidance as they can. So we are super, super excited. We actually are going to be having what we call Ignite Launch, which is it's going to be a similar time frame. So it's 9 to 12. Every one of those 20 sessions is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're actually going to be doing Ignite Launch, which will be again from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That'll be on September 9th, which is the Friday before Ignite begins. I strongly recommend that everyone be there for that. Jess Pegg, one of our top 20% agents, she's actually going to be running it, and it's just going to be a kind of an all-encompassing, this is what you can expect going into Ignite. This is what it's going to look like for you. But more importantly, she wants to touch base with you because as Ignite is structured, it's amazing. It's very thorough. But some of those first first couple sessions are more mindset based and trying to wrap your brain around what you're going to be doing and how you guys can do it to the best of your ability. So there is going to be that, not, how do I say it? So at first, you're going to be talking more about mindset than actually the conversations you can be having with clients. So Jess is going to give you some of that information right off the bat on the 9th. So be there for that, because if you guys get that phone call that first week about, oh my gosh, would you help me sell my house? She's going to give you the information you need that first day, just to kind of lay the land and have you guys have that conversation and know how to do it effectively. So do be there for that. She's just going to go over all of what Ignite's going to look like for you guys. And it's going to be really, really helpful, I think, to be a part of. So please join us on the 9th, in addition to the rest of Ignite. We also have Facebook pages that we recommend you guys be a part of. One of the Facebook pages I actually share with you right off the bat. You will have seen an email come through more than likely with balloons on it at some point, and that's why I put balloons on it, because it's easy to reference. Everyone remembers the balloon email. There are balloons on it, and at the very bottom there is a Facebook link that we recommend that you guys click right on and go ahead and join our Facebook page. So the two Facebook pages that I like to touch on, one is an internal Facebook page. It's a group specifically for the Valentine office. It's going to be all of our agents and leadership. So frequently what's being talked about in there, and I would say a good portion of the day people are conversing on there. It is going to be me bombarding you guys with more stuff about trainings and what's going on in the market center. So you guys can be a part of all our fun socials, events, and different training opportunities, but also you're going to see different agents communicating with each other. Sometimes agents will help. I need somebody to host an open house this weekend. Can anybody assist? And you guys could immediately say, hey, I would love to. Here's my phone number, or directly message me. And that's a really great way for you guys to get the ball rolling and just get your foot in the door. There's also opportunities for you guys to get help just as new agents. You guys can drop in there and say, hey, I've got a client and I don't know anybody who's able to do carpentry. Can anybody help me? And they'll go ahead and they'll start dropping in like screenshots of their contacts in their phone, just so you have availability, so you guys can talk to some of the vendors that they use. So do feel free to be part of both. It's not required, but I strongly recommend it. It gets you in communication with a lot of people in the office, and it also gives you a good idea of what's going on. So I would highly recommend joining that page. The second page that I was referencing is actually going to be a vendor page specifically. Again, it's going to be a private group. You'll have to request to join, but I'm an admin on that page as well, so I'll be able to approve you guys. But that second page is actually going to be entirely built up of our vendors. So here at Valentine, we have a strategic vendor program. And basically what that means is all of the vendors who are part of it have been vetted. So we've checked and seen their reviews. They've worked with our agents tons. They're really great people. They do great things. So they're amazingly part of our program here. So that entire Facebook page is all of those vendors on a page with our agents. So it's a really great way for you guys, again, to have easy access to who those vendors are. You can do something as simple as use the search feature on the Facebook page and say electrician, and any electricians on that page will populate right there. You can click and see what their services and contact information are. But also if they're doing deals and promotions, they'll drop them in there, and you guys can be aware of that and share that with your client in real time. So just another really great thing for you guys to be a part of, with a lot of access to different resources. The next thing on our checklist here is attending office meetings, which this is one of them. So congratulations, guys, as you guys got your round of applause coming in. So congratulations. This is one of the office meetings we highly encourage you guys to be a part of when you first start out. There are several others that we'll touch on in just a little bit here. But really what I like to say is, because again, it is your own business, right? Your business is what you make of it. The training is what you make of it. So if there's ever one you can't make it to, do not stress. Nothing is required really. But we do heavily encourage, especially when you're first starting out in real estate from the beginning, we heavily encourage you guys to participate in a lot of the trainings available here, just because it's going to give you, if nothing else, it'll give you the confidence you need to go into that and feel and be successful. And the last thing on my checklist here is to register your car with Torrington Preferred Parking. So obviously, again, open-ended business. You guys are independent contractors. You do not have to come to the office every day. We would love for you to, because we love to see you guys. We love to be to get to know you guys and just to make sure everything's going well. But if you guys plan to come in kind of infrequently, hey, I live in Lincolnton, like I'm not going to be here all the time. That's okay. You don't have to feel pressured to be in the office every day. But if you are going to be here, I would say more than a few times a month, definitely do go ahead and register your car. You'll just click on that link right there, and it's actually going to take you right to the preferred parking page for this office park. It's super, super simple. You'll just create a little quick login. We are building 2. But again, you can kind of figure that out based off the map above. But and then you would just say you're with Keller Williams, and then you can register up to 3 different vehicles under this parking pass, and it's free to you to do. So I would highly recommend doing it just so you've got it and then you never have to worry. There are a few visitor spaces, but the building right across from us actually just reopened. They were under reconstruction. So we've got new tenants in that building as well. So the parking lot's just a little bit more crowded than normal. So I always recommend that you guys just have a parking pass. And when that parking pass is delivered, it will actually be delivered to the office directly. It's just going to be in an envelope with your name on it. And what happens is that's dropped off in your mail folder. And the reason I'm going into all this is because you guys probably don't know that you have a mail folder. So you guys have a mail folder. If you're going to the lobby and you're looking at the front desk, you see Miss Sue at the front desk. To the right of her, there's going to be a small little room. It's got a purple wall similar to this one in the back, and it's our mail room. Our mail room has a series of filing cabinets, and they're all alphabetized by last name. So as part of your onboarding, you guys are assigned a mail folder. She prints one up and puts it together for you. So anytime you guys have mail that's directed to the office, that's where you guys can find it. It'll be in that folder. Same with packages, that'll be in that room. And usually if you get a package, Sue will send you a quick email that says, hey, just wanted to let you know something was dropped off for you, so you know to come in and grab it. But your mail folder is going to be in there. Things like your parking pass are going to be going in there. If you guys ever go on to get your South Carolina license, if you're not already South Carolina licensed, that's something that's automatically dropped off to the firm rather than your personal address. So that's something that you would expect to find in there as well. Agents sometimes will throw, I know one agent in particular, she's amazing. She loves to do showings and help you guys out with open houses. So she'll drop on a little flyer. Sometimes it just has her services on there so that you guys can refer to her if you ever need a hand. But different things like that will be available in there. Sometimes our vendors will drop little promotions in there as well. So just different things you can expect in your mail folder. So I usually just recommend when you guys are in the office, just go ahead and check it, see if there's anything in there, especially if you're going to be here a little bit more infrequently. Do check it every time you're in here because you never know what you can find. But that would probably be the gist and the overview of mail folders and parking. So I will go ahead and get back to the website here. So again, we're still under that new agent tab. What I am going to do though is I'm actually going to hit on this learn more on the right hand side, and that's going to take us to Scott Leroy. All right. Yeah, of course. Yes, it's 20 sessions. So it'll be Monday through Friday for 4 weeks, and it'll be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yep. And so the next thing here is going to be Scott Leroy's website. So Scott Leroy, as some of you, if not all of you, are familiar at this point, are putting together your Keller Cloud setup, as we like to call it. That's going to be all of your KW technology, from your login information to command to your KW email to your website, all that great stuff and more. Scott Leroy puts it together for us. They're absolutely amazing and very responsive, very helpful. So if you guys are ever having tech difficulties, we do have tech coordinators in-house that are phenomenal. They actually have a background with Scott Leroy. But if you guys are ever having trouble and, hey, you know, it's 3 a.m, I don't really want to message Jules and Leah about this, feel free to send over a message to Scott Leroy. I can't guarantee they'll get back to you at that hour, but they would definitely see it and get back to you as quickly as possible. And they're incredibly helpful. Half the time they'll actually go ahead and take it off your hands. They won't give you the, here's how you do this. They'll just go ahead and fix it for you. So they're really, really phenomenal. And I highly recommend that you guys reach out to them if you guys are having difficulties. But they have so much more to them than just helping out with setting up your tech. So a couple things I'm going to touch on. The first is under the agent resources. If you wanted to go under training and view their training calendar, because they have their own training calendar, our market center number is 350. And that's probably a number you've seen a couple times now, and you may see it a couple more. But you would just type in our market center number right there, and it'll pull up their training calendar. So Scott Leroy actually offers live trainings. They are through Zoom, but they are 1 to 2 p.m. every single day, Monday through Friday. And they touch on different things. Some of them every Tuesday is command overview. So if you guys are looking to learn more about command and how you guys can use command, that's going to be a really great class to stop into. Jules and Leah will touch on it, but they rotate their classes just like Scott Leroy does. So it's not every single class is going to be about command. Some are going to be about different things. So if you guys are looking for command specific and, hey, Jules and Leah aren't going to talk about it for another week or so, please do feel free to use us as much as you'd like. Again, it's free to you guys as agents, so we do recommend using it. But they talk about smart plans. They talk about Facebook ads. They talk about all things tech and marketing. So do feel free to use any of these as much as you'd like. They're just, I love them. They're amazing. Under the store, if you guys were to go to the agent store, and this is another one that I like to touch on just really briefly. One of the most common questions I think I get as agents start out is, hey, do we get business cards provided by the Market Center? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. But the really great thing is that we do partner with companies like Scott Leroy who offer their own agent store. And as a part of that, that means you guys get really great deals on things. So they've got things from business cards, name tags, things like that, different ways for you guys to market and promote yourself, represent yourself. The really great thing about Scott Leroy is they've got pre-done templates for Keller Williams agents that got most all of the information you will need on there already. You don't have to stress about, oh, did I remember to put independently owned and operated, things like that. That's already on there. You would just go ahead and fill out a couple fields that have your specific information. Like I said, there's different templates, so you can be creative with it. You can even change the corners to be scalloped. You can change the finishes, so you can still make it, kind of your own and have your own presence. But just pre-done templates, if you're like, hey, I'm not creative, that's not my wheelhouse, I'd rather just have somebody else do it, please use this as much as you'd like. I actually used it myself for my business cards, and I was able to order 500 for, I think, $39. So they do have a really great price point. So I do just recommend you guys check this out if you guys are looking for anything quick and easy. Again, Jules and Leah also are able to help out with that as well. They offer marketing services too. So you guys are kind of covered all the way around. If you were to scroll a little bit further under the new agent page, these are those Facebook pages that we were talking about. This first one is going to be the one to join for the internal Facebook group of just the agents and leadership. The second one is going to be that vendor internal page I was talking about as well. So use these if you'd like. If you haven't checked them out yet, go ahead and click on them and get yourself requested to join, and I will go back to my desk after this and I will accept everybody if you're not already a part of it. I won't actually click into this one, but this is Kellerisms. Kellerisms, if you have not noticed, Keller Williams has their own special language. It is not real world terms sometimes. So as amazing as it is to be a part of the culture, sometimes it's a little confusing when you walk in the door and you don't know what certain things are. So Kellerisms, it's actually a PDF on here that's about 3 to 5 pages long, and it just breaks down some of the terms you're going to hear in this office that, hey, if you don't know what that means, here's the real world description of what that is, which is amazing because, sometimes if you're a little bit shyer and you're a little embarrassed maybe to ask, which don't ever be embarrassed. I had this job before I knew what all those terms meant. So feel free to ask me for sure. But if you're ever a little shy and, okay, it's again 3 a.m, I don't want to ask Liz what a cap is, you can click on that and it'll break down all of the terms. It'll also give you an idea of what leadership roles are. Sometimes team leader can be like, obviously you kind of get the concept, but maybe I don't know exactly what their responsibilities are. And it kind of breaks that down as well. So use that spreadsheet as much as you'd like to. Very helpful, but I'm also just one email away. So on a little bit further down, again, still under the new agent page, if you still have questions about command, if you're a little confused, answers.kw.com is a resource that you can click on right here. It's actually an entire web page that's built up to FAQs about command. So if you guys are wondering, hey, there's no way this is the first time they've heard this question. This has got to be a pretty baseline question, but I'm still confused on it. Go to answers.kw.com. If that's something that works well for your learning style, you don't need to see it done. You can kind of read a little bit about it. That's a really, really great resource for you. It's, like I said, a whole website of just questions about command. There's actually a sister website to this that is ideas.kw.com. There's no button here for it, but if you can remember that, or if you want to write it down or email me about it, ideas.kw.com is an entire web page dedicated to suggestions on command, feedback on command. How do you hey, I think this could be better, or hey, I love how you guys did this, keep this, and the next time you update it, please don't take it away. But ideas.kw.com is really great because, again, KW is great, but the command is our CRM that we built up ourselves. So it can be a little bit hanky sometimes. And with that being said, sometimes feedback is really good. If you want to say, hey, this just wasn't quite as user-friendly as I think you wanted it to be, feel free to drop that suggestion in. They like to hear from anybody and everybody because everyone's got different perspectives. I'm sorry? So I believe that's KWRI, like international, would be receiving it. I could be mistaken on that, but I do know it's a higher level. It wouldn't just be coming back to me or anything. But so the ideas, though, again, great, because as new agents, you guys have a really great and valuable perspective. They want to make sure the transition's easy. So feel free to drop as much feedback as you'd like in there. The next little bit here, just a little bit about Ignite. You guys can download materials here, although I will say there's easier ways to get access to the materials, so I wouldn't stress worrying about that. There is the access to the training calendar as well. Again, there's an easier way to get there, and you'll notice that throughout the website, there's a couple different ways to pull to the same content. I'm going to show you guys the easiest ways to get to everything, just because I think that that's what sticks the fastest. Obviously, if you find a way that works better for you, go for it. There's, again, no right way, no wrong way. But so I'll wait and show you the calendar in just a bit. But the next bottom portion here is how to book a conference room. As some of you may remember on your tours, you guys were shown some of the conference rooms we have here. We have 6 or 7, and I swear one day I will figure out if it's 6 or 7. I think it's 6, but it seems to slip my mind every time that I bring it up in orientation. So we do have different conference rooms here, varying in capacity, some as small as 4, some up to, I believe, Susan George's 10. So if you guys are ever looking for a private area for you guys to work, we usually recommend that you stick to client consultations, to kind of cooperating with another agent, or coaching conversations. Keep those all in those conference rooms. If you guys are just looking for a quiet place to set up your laptop, we offer day desks, as we like to call them. They're cubicles in this back. Actually, if you were to continue down the hallway this way, we do have day desks, and those are cubicles that you guys are welcome to pop a squat at for a couple hours at a time, just to have a quiet area to work. Commercial, I will say, is relatively quiet, so you shouldn't be too bombarded when you're over there. So that's a really great spot for you guys to kind of get some quiet hours to focus on things. You're also more than welcome to set up in the hub. A lot of agents prefer to set up right here at these high top tables, just because it keeps you involved in things, but you're also able to kind of focus on everything. We actually got a few agents who prefer to sit there almost every single day, and I love seeing them every morning. But if you guys are looking to book a conference room, there is a spreadsheet here. You would just simply register. If you guys have any difficulty doing this, shoot me an email, because I can go in and fix it as an admin. But when you go to book a conference room, you would just go ahead and register to book one. You would type in your KW email, create a password, and then you would be able to go in. There's a spreadsheet that'll come up, and it'll break down every room, what capacity they hold, and it'll show you the time slots for the day. We usually prefer that you guys stick to just 2 hours in a conference room a day, just to keep them on constant rotation, because we do have a lot of agents here who prefer to use them. So that way there's really no conflict. But obviously, if you guys ever needed to reevaluate that, we could always talk about giving you a little bit more time on that. I'm happy to do that for you. But please, yeah, again, those conference rooms are an amazing resource for you guys. They're, again, free to you. There's no cost involved. So please use those as much as you need to. Again, sometimes that's great too, because if you don't have an office, or maybe you do have an office, but I don't like to take my clients into my office, it's just a really great spot for you guys to meet with everybody. Like I said, they're great. Next thing here, I'll just take us right back to the home page. All righty, so that whole time, just to clarify, we were under this new agent tab, but I will go ahead. If we're going to scroll further down on the home page, this is kind of like a long page vertically, so a lot of scrolling, but we do have all of the wonderful people on leadership here. So if you guys, and I know that this looks bad, I know that it looks like it's scooted to the side, and I apologize for that, but the weird thing is, when I go to edit the website, it depends on your monitor, like width. So when I'm doing it on my computer at my desk, it looks perfect. And then when I come on this computer, it looks like this. And I don't know what to do. So I apologize. It is perfect on some computers. So it might look good on yours. It just doesn't look good on this one. See, oh, dang it. I shouldn't have said anything. I guess it bothers me because I'm a little OCD, but these are, again, the wonderful people on leadership, what they do, what their role is here, and their contact information. So if you guys ever needed to reach out to someone you weren't sure, this is a really, really good stopping point. But again, I'm always happy to pass along contact information. I'm kind of like, I like to consider myself like your middleman. So if I don't have the information myself, I'm so happy to get it for you or put you in contact with who does. So if you're ever confused and you're not sure who to ask a question to, come to me. I'm happy to do that for you. A little bit further, Jules and Leah, again, are wonderful tech coordinators here. They do offer can't miss videos of the week. Those will be posted here, and those are really great because they do focus on different quick tips, and they show you like screen share so you can see how they're doing it, but just quick tips on what you can be doing and implementing into your business. A really easy way to do this, or something you maybe didn't know about Command. And they just post those here so you guys have like a 5-minute video to watch if you ever are interested, because what they share is super great. And it's a lot of times it's actually seasoned agents didn't even know about this tip that they brought up, and it's just way more efficient than what you thought. So definitely worthwhile. They go over stuff like that a lot in their classes as well. So their classes are great to be a part of. If you were to scroll even further down, that's when you'll get to our office calendar here. On the office calendar, that's how you'll be able to see all of the wonderful trainings we've got in this office. And for you guys as new agents, I think one of the biggest questions I always get is there anything that I can't go to, or is there anything I shouldn't be going to? And the answer to that is absolutely not. It's very rare that we would have something that is specifically directed towards top producers or things like that. So there's really seldomly anything that will ever be on here that is something you feel you would not be able to attend. This is really just kind of, again, it's what you make of it. So if there's anything you read about and you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds like so fitting, I want to go to that, sign up, go for it. Obviously, there's also some that you might see and you're like, oh, this seems like maybe it's helping agents that are trying to build teams. I'm not there yet, so I'll wait. Or maybe I want that information now. Either way, whatever your perspective and take on it is, again, if it's something that interests you, that you feel will change your world or help your business, go to it. 9 times out of 10, again, I would say that these things are free to you guys. If they're in Valentine, they are usually free to you guys. What we typically will do is we will pay for nice instructors to come in because we want you guys to get that information. I think that in the situation of like our bigger events, bigger speakers, the only thing that you guys would ever have to worry about financially would be a no-show fee. So if you enroll and you don't come and you didn't give me a reason why, that's when there would be a fee involved. But again, free across the board. So please do come to all of our wonderful trainings. Just to highlight a few, I know that the 14th, we do have the Art of Influence, Selling with Style. We've got a speaker coming in. She actually used to be an agent in our office, and she is just absolutely phenomenal. She's going to be teaching on basically personalities. So learning what the different personalities in the world kind of are, how to gauge that when you meet somebody, and then how to tailor your conversations to meet what they look for. So that's going to be a really great class. I actually registered to go for myself. So please, again, if that's something that interests you, go right ahead. There's an Eventbrite link right there. You would click right on it. It'll take you right to where you need to go, and you would just sign right up for the class. So then if you see Eventbrite links like that, Eventbrite links are going to mean that there is a registration for in-person. If you see a Zoom link, that's going to mean that there is a Zoom option, if not a Zoom exclusive, which Jonathan, I know we had a conversation about that. So I went back through the calendar and I tried my best to make sure, I tried my best to make it a little bit clearer. No, they were not. So I fixed it because I was like, that was a good idea. So if you were to go on, we also have a wealth building class. It's going to be a 3-part series. This is one that I'm also going to be registered for. It's just about general conversations of how you guys can be monitoring your financing and your finances and assessing them, especially with everything going on, and just, you know, even as a business owner, just different ways to look at your finances, how you guys can be monitoring your expenses and revenue and things like that. So if that's something that, again, speaks to you, something you'd want to get a good grip on as you're starting out even, please do come again to that class. If you scroll, there's going to be a Zoom link and an Eventbrite link. If you see both, that's usually, again, it's your choice. If you want to come in person, go ahead and sign up on the Eventbrite link. If you want to do Zoom, that's going to fit better in your schedule, go ahead and use the Zoom link. Don't ever feel like you have to do both. I've had a couple people do that, and I don't want that to be confusing. So don't sign up for both. Do one or the other based off of your preference. So that's going to be under September 14th. It's going to be under the Art of Influence. So it'll be the 1 p.m. on September 14th. The Art of Influence, Selling with Style. September 14th. So it'll be towards the middle. So, and then it'll be the Art of Influence. So you'll see it says +2 at the bottom. Click the +2. Sorry. If there's ever a lot going on in one day, that sometimes happens. It'll get a little cut off. So in that situation, click on the plus whatever number at the bottom and you'll be able to see the whole of it. And again, it does look like it gets a little cut off, but if you click right on whatever it is and you want to find out more, you'll be able to see class descriptions, registration links, and usually at the top, now that I've made a better effort, it'll say if it's in person, if it's hybrid, or if it's remote only. So just to give you guys a better feel for it. But again, please come to as much as you'd like. There's plenty on here to be involved in, and as much as it might seem overwhelming to go and head first into all the information and the trainings, it can be really beneficial because if nothing else, you'll walk away with a better sense of community and a feeling of comfort in the office. And that's a big thing as well. So I hope I'll see you guys at those trainings because those are two I'll be at. But hopefully I'll see you guys in the office coming to the other ones as well. But Ignite did come into play it starts coming into play on the 12th and the 9th, as I mentioned. So it does mean that some of our recurring trainings that you'll see mentioned here may have been kind of moved around a little bit because we had to make sure that the training room is obviously open and available to you guys. So my next orientation, typically mine are run obviously Thursday mornings. So my next one is actually going to be on a Monday, Monday the 12th. Not that you guys will need to attend that one because you're here today, but just to keep so you know what to look for because of Ignite, a couple things might have gotten moved around. So if you're like, wait a second, this said to look for it here and I don't see it, play around a little bit. Usually everything stayed where it's supposed to, but a couple things may have been moved. But like I said, upcoming events, these are some things, this is just a quick little discussion of here are some of those recurring trainings that you guys, again, we would love to see you at, trainings or meetings, really. ALC meetings, those are really phenomenal to be a part of. Those are meetings that are dedicated to conversations about Valentine as a whole, as how the Market Center will be proceeding moving forward. So be part of those. It's the top 20%. We've got 12 representatives that are choosing to represent different committees here at Valentine. So their focuses are very their scope is like this. So they're able to focus and really benefit Valentine in different areas. We've got Agent Advocate Committee, which is really accepting your feedback and how we can do better. We've got Tech Committee. We've got all these different great things. Social Committee. So just planning parties basically, which is a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested in hearing some of the conversations and decisions that they make, you're welcome to come to the ALC meetings. Those are in here and they're at 11 a.m. on the third Tuesday. And what will happen in those is you guys are welcome to come as non-ALC. We just ask that you guys are polite and let them have the floor during the duration of the meeting, but you would be able to hear the conversations firsthand. If not, there's a way to access the minutes that they post at the end, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. We also have team meetings. Team meetings are our Tuesday parties. They're super fun. We talk about what's going on in the market, but we also get together and just celebrate each other. And we just have a lot of fun, a lot of energy in the room. If you haven't been to one yet, they're really great. Second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 11 a.m. Super great to be a part of. And then the forums classes are another one that I can't stress enough. If you guys, especially as new agents, are concerned at all about, oh my gosh, okay, I'm about to do a transaction. I don't even know what the forms look like. I don't know what to make sure is going together with what. Come to the forums classes. Those are actually going to be strictly Zoom, and you'll see that on the calendar if you click on them. They're Zoom only, but do participate in those. They happen every Thursday. If there's ever that weird month that has actually 5 Thursdays as opposed to the normal 4, then that 5th Thursday you would be off for. But the first 2 Thursdays, the first 2 Thursdays are dedicated to North Carolina transactions, and the second 2 Thursdays are South Carolina transactions. So I don't know that anyone's South Carolina licensed. If you're not, don't worry about it. You can start to engage in those if you guys are considering getting your license, or if you're in pre, you're welcome to do that. But I would recommend just staying focused on your North Carolina stuff for now, because there's plenty of information to dive in on just that. But Sabra, our broker in charge, does a really, really great and thorough job of going over those contracts, what they look like, any updates that may have happened. So she's just phenomenal with giving you all the information. She's so knowledgeable. But she spends 2 hours going over one of the first Thursday is going to be North Carolina listing, and then the second Thursday is North Carolina buyer. And she'll do this every single month and just give you new information on it. And again, you'll be firsthand on that call, so you'll be able to ask her questions if you have any, and she'd be happy to answer them. So really great resource for you guys. This is Sabra, actually. She is amazing and we love her very much. So the only thing I would think to mention on this, Sabra is amazing. She's not typically in the office. She actually lives at home with her mother, and she's taking care of her mother, especially through COVID. So she's not always in the office, just to try and make sure there's less exposure just in case. But the really, really great thing is that we do have a BIC associate, Tasha Viney. Tasha is amazing, kind of like secondhand to Sabra. She is just phenomenal. And again, very, very knowledgeable. So if you guys have any questions, administrative, it's not urgent, I just was curious about this. Then we always recommend using this. Actually, fairly new, but we have a KW Ballantyne BIC email address. So if it's, again, administrative, it's non-urgent, go ahead and email that email address, because what's going to happen is both Sabra and Tasha have access to that email. So both of them will be able to see that. So you have a higher chance of getting responded to quicker, because two people are looking at that and monitoring it frequently. If it is obviously more urgent and legal, go ahead and email Sabra directly. You can always CC Tasha on it if you want Tasha to be a part of it, but I would say email directly for the more urgent things. But if it is administrative, we always recommend you start here, just because, again, if nothing else, it increases the likelihood that you get a faster response. But both are very, very great about responding to you guys in a timely manner. As we mentioned, ALC, these are just some of those wonderful agents that are on our ALC and the committees they serve. Also, the email address that you can reach them at if you wanted to reach out to them about anything. These are, again, just amazing agents, top 20% within the office, but they're so friendly and so culture driven that they are happy. If you stop them in the hall one day and ask them a question, they'd absolutely give you the answer. They're just phenomenal people. But again, their committees are open to you guys, not only for you to be part of, but if you just wanted to sit in on one of their specific committee meetings and hear the conversations or give your own feedback and suggestions, you're more than welcome to. Their committee meetings are listed on the calendar here. Typically the first Tuesday and Wednesday of the month, you'll see this one says +6. That's all the committee meetings that are going on. So there's a lot. But again, if there's any committee that interests you or that you'd like to provide insight on or hear the conversations, reach out to that individual and just say, hey, I would love to come to your meeting. They'll go ahead and give you all the information you need to join the next one, and you guys can get into conversation. A little bit lower down here, we've got our productivity coaches. So here at Ballantyne, we have what we call 3 pillars of mentorship. There's coaches, there are T group partners, and there are first step partners. Your coaches are phenomenal because what they're going to do is they're going to be specifically to you. They're going to talk and have one-on-ones with you. What are your goals? Okay, these are your goals. Awesome. How are we? So they're going to sit there, hold you accountable for those goals. Say, okay, we're not looking like we're going to hit those numbers. What's going on, and how can we change that? They're going to be there to help drive you in those first, honestly, for a while. They're phenomenal, and they all have very successful businesses. Again, built here in Ballantyne, so they're able to give you that really great advice and experience, and they're happy to help steer you in the right direction. So coaches are amazing here. Miranda's actually currently outside there. If you guys do not know Miranda, she is phenomenal. Kildia is usually outside there as well. She sometimes comes in a little bit later though. So again, just really great coaches. We also have T group partners. T group partners, again, that's going to be your second pillar of mentorship here. Your T group partners, and if you're not sure who your T group partner is or your first step partner, that's an email that will come from me, and it will say, welcome to KW Ballantyne area. That's the title. There's stuff about privilege license in there, but one of those attachments is going to give you all the information you need about T group and first step partners and their contact information. If you can't figure out where that email went, shoot me an email and I'll let you know who your partners are. But that's where you guys can find that information. I know that's a stressful point because you get so many emails, and I'm so sorry, but I know that that's a lot. But the really great news is, again, just let me know if there's anything that got lost in translation or communication, and I'm happy to share it with you again. But so your T group partners, everyone's been assigned a T group partner as part of your onboarding. These individuals, again, very seasoned agents with successful businesses on their back, and they're just absolutely well-versed in our forms. One of them is Tasha. So we've got all of these wonderful agents, and they actually dedicate a little bit of their time on top of their businesses to speaking with you guys and meeting with you guys weekly about the different forms. So again, kind of helping to facilitate the how do I say that? Just like the comfort and confidence when working on those transactions. They're going to meet with you. They do weekly meetings. Almost everyone meets in person here in the office. Rob Gilly is actually the only one who's exclusively through Zoom. And he's a really great resource for dual career agents, just because it's a Monday night meeting and it's on Zoom. But again, these individuals will be here in the office meeting with you guys. They'll talk about the different changes again to forms, and they'll slowly chunk it with you. They've actually got a little bit of a curriculum that they work with that breaks it into about 12 to 16 weeks, if I remember correctly, and they'll cycle back through it. So you guys are constantly getting updates on the information, but you're also seeing it in chunks as opposed to, holy crap, I just digested so much. How do I do this? But so they'll go through that with you. And they're also really great resources for you guys to reach out to if you have questions. They're usually what I recommend is your first stopping point before reaching out to Sabra or Tasha. If you guys have a question, you're like, hey, it's not too crazy. It's not like transaction specific. It's more just about this form. You can reach out to your T group partners, and a lot of times they'll have the information that you're looking for. If they don't, they'll then direct you to Sabra or Tasha. So feel free to reach out. If you guys ever having trouble reaching out to one of your T group partners, hey, you know, Sharon's amazing, I just haven't heard from her in about a week and I had a question, you guys can reach out to any of these T group partners with your questions. You are more than welcome to do that if you're having trouble hearing back. We just prefer that for the purpose of consistency, and especially if everyone's kind of maybe operating at a slightly different pace, stick to just your T group partners meetings. Don't go to everybody's meetings, but they're, again, weekly and they're on the calendar. And if anybody's meetings are consistently not a good time for you, that's okay. Just reach out to me and I can switch your groups up, just so that you've got a better meeting time. But again, really, really phenomenal resource, one that I highly recommend you guys take advantage of. It's free to you to use. They're amazing and they're happy to help you guys. A little bit further, we've got our first step partners. Our first step partners are really, really pivotal for you guys in those first 90 days. Again, very open-ended, kind of spraying with the fire hose, as Teresa likes to say. So there's a lot kind of coming at you. And okay, Liz, I love you. You did a great job with orientation. Thank you. But hey, I'm really confused. I don't remember where the mailroom was. I don't remember this. These individuals are really, really great with Valentine specific questions. So if you guys have questions about the Market Center, please ask them. One of them is Carla Kettler. She shares an office with me. She's on leadership team as well. So she's here all the time. One that you can ask questions to too. But one of the things that they do in the first couple weeks that you're here and that they've been assigned to you is they'll send you a 30, 60, 90 checklist. The 30, 60, 90 checklist is just kind of a spreadsheet, if you will, that gives you a good idea of things you can be working on in those first 3 months. Again, it's just very open-ended. So it's going to be one of those resources that helps give you a little bit of guidance as to what you guys can be working towards. The hard part about it is, or not hard part, but the important note to make is that you guys don't have to worry about doing everything on there. If, okay, like, I don't need to cross every T, I don't need to dot every I. It's just there to give you guidance. Nobody's going to be checking it at the end and, oh, you failed, you didn't do all the things. You guys can do as much of it or as little of it as you would like. Again, it's what you make of it, but that's going to be really, really great in giving you that sense of direction in your first couple of months here. So again, really great people. Reach out to any of them if you can't hear back from your partner. But again, everyone's highly responsive and happy to help. Towards the bottom here, we really just have helpful resources and links. But that's, again, something that's shared up here as well. So I'm not going to touch on that too long. FAQs here. These are frequently asked questions about who would I talk to? If I have a question about blank, who do I go see? So if you guys are looking just for a general idea, if you had a question about commission requests, if you were to just hover over the tile here, it'll tell you Lynn Davis. She's our MCA, and it gives you her email right there. So if you have a question about any of these things or similar things, these are who you would contact. And if you'll notice as you go through, I don't actually think that I'm on any of these tiles. So that's why I'm going to be your best friend if you guys have questions. And okay, there's nothing on here about blah, 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 which was my real question. So who do I go see? Email me and I will get you in touch with who needs to help field that question, or I'll get their answer to you directly. So feel free to reach out to me if you're like, this is great, but doesn't quite help with my specific situation. Reach out to me. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is the on-demand training. This is going to be, we're going to skip over that about tab. We're going to go right to on-demand training. There is password here. The password, everybody ready? Is a capital B, a lowercase a, M, C, and then 350. Again, it's going to be capital B, lowercase a, M, C, and then 350. You'll notice it's very similar to our Wi-Fi password, which is sometimes written on this board. So I was going to reference it, but it's not today. So it's very similar to the Wi-Fi password, but that's how you're going to be able to get into this tab and the adjacent tab right here. So just so you guys have that. Again, if you lose it, email me. I will get you the password. But on this on-demand training side, if you were to click on this left-hand button, it's actually going to take you to a YouTube channel that I actually manipulate and control. It's our Keller Williams Valentine YouTube channel. So if you guys ever miss a team meeting, a compliance orientation, my orientation, a Tech Tuesday, anything like that, check here first, because I do post the recordings every couple weeks. I'll update it and make sure that everything goes on there. So if you guys are looking for a training that you may have missed, I just couldn't make it to that team meeting, but I really want to hear the conversations. This is where you guys can find the recordings that were done. Again, just so for clarity, these are going to be recurring trainings only. If it's a special training like we're bringing in Gene Rivers. That's not going to be posted here, unfortunately. These are just for those recurring trainings, and Valentine specifically, like leadership led ones. And then the other thing to note is this is recordings that are done through Zoom. So if it's a Zoom optional, that's where you may be able to access a recording. If it's just in person, there will be no recording. Just to keep that in mind if you ever want to inquire about if a recording is available. And then the next thing to note as well is you'll see, especially Tech Tuesdays, some of them, it looks like, okay, it's not every week for Tech Tuesdays. There's a couple that are missed in there. Unfortunately, YouTube will also kick back my videos and it won't let me post them sometimes. So for the most part, I've got just about every video on here from 2022 on. So it's rare that they kick back at me, but just so you guys are aware, if there's one missing that's not within the past couple weeks, this is from like, we're talking January, this is missing, it was probably an issue with the recording itself or YouTube being ridiculous. So if that ever seems like it's an issue, please forgive. But this is a really great stopping point for you guys if you ever do miss a training that you'd like to have information on. I'm gonna close out of that really quickly. And on the right-hand side here under Command on Demand, I apologize, there's a video that plays every single time, so it might get loud. I'm gonna try and pause it though really quick. Okay. Sometimes it does, sometimes it unclicks though. So if it starts yelling at us again, I'll watch out for it. But if you go on that right-hand button, again, it's going to take you to another YouTube channel, but this is actually Scott Leroy's YouTube channel. So these are tutorials and video walkthroughs of how you guys can be doing different things with Command, different ads, just different digital marketing tips. Again, if that kind of mimics your learning style and that works well for you, you can do tutorial style and walk through with it. Highly recommend Scott Leroy's videos because again, it's just on demand. It's when you're available and at your convenience. But they have their classes that they've posted. They've got tech tips. They've got Command overview, digital marketing tips, so many things and more, ranging anywhere from 3 minutes to an hour. So plenty of content on here to keep you guys definitely busy, but in the best way. So please use this resource too. I know that 1 to 2 p.m. for their live classes might not work for everybody, and that's okay. This is a really great resource for you guys if you're looking more for on demand and when I have availability. A little bit further is just a little bit more information about Ignite, which all of this will be shared with you guys and has been already. So don't worry about the Ignite email there. Or the Ignite information there. I'm actually going to take you to the Office Resources tab. Before I actually click on it, I do have to try and find a way to do this, to correct this. I didn't make the website initially. I just made kind of adjustments to it. So if you guys also see something that looks wrong or that you think could be corrected, email me and let me know. But under Office Resources, if you guys are ever looking for advertising guidelines and you want to make sure that your flyers are good to go or that your business card has all the information you need on it before you print it and pay for those prints, go to advertising guidelines. Again, it's going to just be password protected, but it's important to note that you have to hover over the Office Resources. You can't click on the tab because for some reason when you go into the tab, you can't access it. I don't know why, but I'm going to work on it. But if you go under here, this is where you're going to be able to see advertising guidelines. So if you wanted to try and read and make sure you had everything before you send it to Sabra or Tasha for approval, this is where you guys can find those. And then, so that was under hovering. If you just click right on Office Resources and type in that same password, everyone has the password. Yes. Does anyone need it repeated? No? Okay. So if you go under Office Resources, this is going to be probably one of your favorite tabs, I like to think. On the left-hand side here under Get Forms or under General Forms, click the button Get Forms. This is going to be North Carolina forms. This is not all of the forms. Some of them are going to be available to you in DocuSign as opposed to this Google Drive, but Saber built up this Google Drive folder here specifically with documents she felt like she was got requests for very often. Things like your W-9, things like referral agreements, things like that. We also have heritage title forms, which is partnerships that we've got, but there is plenty on here. So if you guys are ever struggling to find a form, I recommend checking here in addition to DocuSign before you reach out to anybody to say, hey, I can't find it. We still are happy to help you guys find a form, but this is a really, really good spot for you guys to check if you are struggling to find one. This is all North Carolina forms right here. So if you guys are South Carolina licensed or are planning to be, this is where you'll find those same forms for South Carolina. It's just gonna be on the right-hand side, but since most of us, if not all of us, are North Carolina licensed, I'm just just going to show you the north. On the middle here under get checklists, Sabra actually again built up this Google Drive folder, but more amazingly, she built these checklists herself. So again, walking through those transactions, there's going to be plenty that's asked of you that you guys are going to be trying to remember and trying to make sure you have a hold of. So North Carolina buyer, if we were to click on this, for example, it just shows you all of the different things that you should be keeping in mind while you're going through this transaction, things that you'll need, things that you might want to make sure of, timing of different things. So just checklists that she's built up that are extremely helpful. So like second step, submit for review and command no later than 7 days before closing. So just different tidbits in there that are going to help you guys walk you through those transactions, especially your first couple. It's not quite muscle memory yet, so you want to make sure that you've got it all together. This is a really great thing for you guys to sit there and, okay, I don't know about you guys, I love my checklist. They make me feel like, okay, I know that that's done. So there's plenty on here. Again, we've got North Carolina buyer, we've got North Carolina listing, South Carolina side as well. We've got rentals. So check this because I'm sure there's a checklist for it. I'm going to close out though, but again, that's just going to be under this middle one under the office resources. So these probably are going to be your two favorite buttons for a little bit here. Under CE shop, if you were to click on find classes, we do have a partnership with the CE shop. And the CE shop is amazing. So if you guys have not used it, it is a pre-licensing, post-licensing, continuing education resource for you guys. But one thing to note is we do have a dual branded website. We partner very closely with them. If you guys are looking to do your continuing education as that kind of comes around and you need to get that done, they run deals all the time. You can actually, we'll do home button. And I think so you can see even right here, they'll tell you what the code is, but you'll be able to see if you were to go under exam prep and we were to say, we'll do South Carolina. They'll show you the actual price difference as well in case, I know sometimes percentages doesn't work for everybody's brain. So they'll show you the actual price differences at a glance. So it's really easy to compare. You'll be able to see the different packages they offer. Another really neat thing that they offer, again, if you're branching into South Carolina or considering it, if you've ever kind of toyed with the idea of, I wonder if I'd be compatible with self-paced, I wonder if I could avoid having to do the in-person at this time every week. They do offer a free trial for you guys. It's 1 week long and you would be able to do a free trial of self-paced South Carolina. Yeah. Capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. Yes, ma'am. So they do a free 1 week trial for you guys, and it would just give you an idea of what self-paced would look like. At the end, again, it's commitment free. So if you would like to sign up for it because you loved it, super great result, go for it. You can sign up right there. But if you didn't like it, it's not going to be a good fit, then you can walk away commitment free. So that's something that you don't see every day, which is why I like to talk about it with you guys. And then the other thing I do like to touch on, again, all of these secondary websites have plenty of their own resources, but I'm going to try and give you as little to memorize as possible. But under the agent essentials here, something just to share, under hot topics, they do have a bunch of content here of blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos that you guys can not only entertain yourselves with, either from an informational standpoint or just a comedic standpoint, but you guys can also pull the links and share this on your feed. One of the things I've learned and heard, at least I'm not an agent, full disclosure, but one of the things I have heard is one of the best things you can do for digital marketing and social media is diversify your feed. It'll help you to get different traffic to your page. So share these. These are super fun. Some of them, again, are really, really informational, but some of them are kind of funny. There's this one that I always reference, DIY did I do this? So they're just DIY fails. So again, like a comedic element that you guys could put on your page that somebody's going to look at that and be like, I want to read that. That looks fun. So just a different way for you guys to try and diversify your feed, where you guys can find some of those resources to do that with. But again, kind of all centrally come back to real estate. So I'll close out of that, but just another really great note. And then same thing, we're still under that office resources. There's a KW Valentine floor plan. I work here. I don't use that floor plan. If you ever see a purpose behind using the floor plan, go ahead and print it off. I know. See, I probably should do it. I probably should look at the floor plan. But yes, again, it's just one of those where it's like, it's there. If you ever need it, It's seldom that people need it, but at the bottom though, this is a little bit more important numbers to know. If you guys are filling out forms, if you are going to get your South Carolina license, you'll notice that they'll ask for office code information and things like that. This is where you can find a lot of that information on the website. So like I said, we got firm license numbers, we've got Canopy MLS ID. So that's a good stopping point. If you can't find the information, again, shoot me an email and I'm happy to get it to you. But again, if you're trying to do this on your own time and hopefully do it seamlessly the whole way through, this is where you guys can find that information. And again, that was all under the Office Resources tab. If you were to click on Office Calendar, it's just going to, I'll show you, it's just going to pull you right back to that Office Calendar. That's the easiest way to get to it, is just click the tab and it'll do all the work for you. But we've already talked about that, so I'll gloss to the next thing. Under tech resources, we have got plenty for you guys. Again, a lot of it's going to be repetitive. It's things that you've already seen, just another way to get to it that's a little easier sometimes. But scheduling tech appointments, the easiest way to schedule a tech appointment is actually, I'm going to pull myself down here. Click I need tech help. So if you want to meet with Jules and Leah, click the button. It's actually going to let you sit there and immediately plop right onto their calendar. They'll get an email notification saying to expect your meeting, but you'll be able to say in there if you'd rather do meeting in the office, you'd rather do a Zoom call if that's easier for you. But it's a free 30-minute consultation where they not only can help you troubleshoot, especially I think as we're new, that's probably going to be the most common, is troubleshooting and understanding how to use different tech resources here. But as you guys get more comfortable, if you would like to start leveraging out and say, reach out to them and say, would you handle my marketing for blah, blah, blah? Would you handle sending a postcard? They do that too. So they're happy to do that, and they have different packages and things that they offer. They do what we call concierge services. So if you guys are interested at all in that, that's another really great thing that they offer. But those, again, come with like packages will come with price tags and things like that. So talk to them. Again, the first consultation you guys have for 30 minutes is absolutely free, and they're happy to troubleshoot for you. But I don't know their packages as well, so I can't speak to what moving forward looks like. But again, they're so happy to help you guys, especially if it's just questions about troubleshooting and things like that. I'm pretty sure those are consistently free. I'm pretty sure. Don't hold me to it if they say something else, but I'm pretty sure those are consistently free. But again, just use this here and click right on it, and you'll be able to say, okay, 11 a.m. I want to book this appointment. You would hit confirm. It's as simple as your name, your email, and what you'd prefer. And then you can even tell them a little bit about what the meeting would entail so they can prep accordingly, but it's not necessary. I'm going to exit out there. But that's the easiest way to schedule time with them. And they'll obviously be able to do it because it's on the calendar. But underneath, again, just a lot of different access to the same stuff. We're talking about Tech Tuesday calendar, which is still on here. We're talking about the can't miss video of the week, which we've seen already. The one thing I will show you guys for sure though, is Marty Miller for Teams. I'm going to click to pause it because it's going to yell too. So didn't work. So Marty Miller for Teams, actually Abby Wilson, if you've met with Abby or if you know Abby, ringing endorsement from Abby. She makes everybody that comes on her team do Marty Miller for Teams. Marty Miller for Teams, though, it just chunks down setting up your marketing profile into tiny, tiny little segments. So it breaks it into a 66-day challenge, so to speak. They actually just revamped it at the start of 2022. So if you guys are looking to set up your marketing profile, but again, it's just easier to chunk it. It's less stressful, less confusing. Do this. I mean, their videos are less than 10 minutes every single day. So you would just break it into day by day. And then at the end of it, you'll have a completed marketing profile. But another resource, again, if you choose to go that route, it's there for you. You don't have to do it, but it's just something to make note of that makes it a little bit simpler and easier, a little less scary. So that's under tech resources. The next thing under here, helpful links. We do have, that's where you can find your ALC meetings. So if you go under the ALC meeting minutes, it'll take you to a Google Drive folder that's got the meeting minutes. So if you couldn't make it to a meeting, but you're curious about what discussions they had, that's a really great way for you guys to see it. Then we also have a prayer request form. So if you guys ever have something going on and you would like to tell us, whether it's anonymous or you'd like it to stay within leadership and you do want to know, we will pray for you guys. We consider you family and we take that very seriously. We want to make sure everything's okay for you guys. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support you. But if you guys are also ever looking for the power of prayer, you want more prayer power, let us know, because we will, if you're with your blessing, we will go ahead and say that to the Market Center, and we will have everybody in the know so that you guys can be getting that prayer power. But that's something to touch on as well, just because, again, we take family very seriously here. We do consider you guys family, and we want to make sure everything's going well for you. So please keep us in the loop, even if it's just, it might seem weird because, maybe you've never worked for a company that like cares about you in that way. And that makes me sad, but also like we care about you like that. So if there's ever anything going on, let us know, because we do care and we want to make sure that we can support you guys through it. So keep us in the loop. But underneath here, again, colorisms, we've got access to Canopy, scheduling the conference room. The only other thing, there's two things I'll touch on. One, I'm going to show you, and the other I'll just briefly mention. The strategic vendor partner spreadsheet is under those helpful links. So if you guys aren't a part of the Facebook group, I forgot, but I need to know who I can reach out to. These are going to be all of those vetted partners that we have here, and they're organized by what their industry is or their field is, and it's got their name, their company, their contact information, the services they offer, if they have a website, things like that. So use a spreadsheet too. That's probably, again, one of the easier ways to gain access to a lot of those vetted vendors that we have here that are all just absolutely wonderful. And if you guys actually have never been to a team meeting before, they do come to our team meetings as well. We usually have about 6 of them, between, I would say 3 to 6 of them that will hang out outside of the team meetings, and they'll be there. They usually bring snacks, some swag, some goodies, whatever, but you're able to have conversations with them there, find out more about what they do and talk to them and make a connection. So another really great way to get connected with the vendors. Under helpful, yeah. So I would actually say shoot an email to Teresa Staker, and just let her know, say, hey, this is so-and-so, they're amazing. If you would mind making time to meet with them, she would happily do that. So yeah, shoot Teresa Staker an email if you guys have anyone you'd like to recommend, because we are looking there. I don't know if you guys saw, but there are a couple of spots where we have blanks. So if you guys have any landscapers, oh my gosh, I love my landscaper. He's great. Reach out to us and let us know. The last thing I was going to make a note of was this Outfront magazine right here. Outfront magazine is actually published monthly, as most magazines, but it's digital. It's done through Keller Williams as a whole, so international scale. But Outfront magazine, and the reason I talk about it is they offer a really, really great feature that is helpful for your digital and social media marketing. A lot of times, if you guys are making that transition and you are trying to make your social media marketing your big online, like if that's your main marketing source and that's your main presence, it can be hard because you're like, well, I don't know what to post. It's just a random Tuesday and it's stormy outside. What do I say? Outfront magazine every month will make a calendar up that tells you every single day an idea of what you can be posting. So you could follow it to a T and post exactly what they tell you, and then you'd have again, a post a day. So check out Outfront magazine, especially maybe you don't need the guidance every single day, but maybe you're struggling one day to come up with something, but hey, it's been a day or two since I posted, I think I should. Check out Outfront magazine because they make plenty of suggestions that are super, super helpful. But that is really it. I know I really did word vomit on you guys, and I'm so sorry. So there, like I said, there is a lot to digest. Best thing that I can recommend before we even open it up to questions is take the time to walk yourself through it again, kind of check on each tab, enter the password. Okay, this was here. Okay, cool. Now I know where to find that. That is the best way to get comfortable using the website. Again, I'm only an email away if you come up with questions moving forward. But while we are here, are there any questions nobody had a chance to ask that they would like to ask about anything they saw or didn't see? So yes, so that the password's not written anywhere, which is like it's not anywhere on the website. No, it's the same password for all the password protected. It'll be that BAMC 350. So you did? Oh, was it under the numbers to know? So yep. So numbers to know, it's actually, that's the Wi-Fi password. And the reason you saw it is because the only difference is 1 exclamation point. So that's exactly why. Look at you. I love that. But yeah, so the Wi-Fi password is listed there. So it's very, very similar, which is why it almost looked like it was the same thing. But yeah, so the same password for all of those password protected areas that you saw. And again, if you ever lose that. So on for the Wi-Fi, there's an exclamation mark. It's the same password for our Wi-Fi. There's just an exclamation point. But for all of the KWB resources protected areas, that's going to be the same without the exclamation point. Any other questions? Yeah. So Bold is going to be, it's actually a 7-week program that we've got that's available, and it's phenomenal. It's entirely designed to energize you and change the trajectory of your business. Wow, that was hard. So it's amazing, and it is one of the things that you can take time and time again. We've got agents here who've taken it, I was gonna say, who've taken it like 12 times. So if you want to talk to actually Shannon about it, Shannon's taken it before. She'll be a really great person to explain it to you. I know you actually just signed up to do it again, right? Yeah. So she'll be really great. Teresa's really great. I actually have never taken it myself. I've only been here for 1 year, so I've never taken it. So I know like of it, but I've never experienced it, if that makes sense. And I feel like the better conversation to have would be with somebody who's experienced it, because they can give you like the chills, you know. But they're amazing. It's a really, really great program, and we're super, super excited. It's coming back to our market center October 17th. And it'll run until December 5th. But yes, a really, really great opportunity to just energize the crap out of your business, really. And that's my endorsement. So it does rotate around. I'm a little less familiar with like the actual kind of logistics of it. But if you can't sign up for this one for whatever reason, you'll see that another Bold will be offered. We actually had Bold in Fort Mill. That was last fall. And so if you guys wanted to do it as a Valentine agent, do it. Like, you would be able to go to Fort Mill and do Bold at their office for the 7 weeks. And it's only 1 day a week. This time around, it'll be Mondays from 9 to 2:30. But you'll see that other market centers will offer it. So, hey, this is actually like a really good time for me to do Bold. But it's not at Valentine. You can still sign up for their Bold. And Teresa would also be a really good person to talk to, because sometimes we're provided those links right away. But if you hear of it before you've seen it promoted here, reach out to Teresa and just let her know, say, hey, like, I saw this. Would you be able to look into this or get me any information on it? And she'll do that for you. But Bold's really, really great, and I highly recommend you guys get into it if you haven't taken it already. But again, I'll let the people who've taken it give you more detail as to why it's so incredible and why it's so like mindset and life changing. Because as someone who can't take it, I could tell you anything I want, but it's not going to come across the same. It's not going to mean the same, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, I wish I had taken it so I could be like, oh my God, Bold's amazing. But is there any other questions that kind of stand out at the time? Okay, so I'm gonna assume that's a no across the board, and that's okay. If you guys obviously get home and you're like, oh crap, I should have asked that question, just shoot me an email, and I'm so happy to get you guys all squared away. Yeah. So I actually have them in my office. So if you want to swing by that way, I will take care of both of you guys getting in. I think that is everything. So thank you guys so much again for being part of orientation. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping that this gave you a little bit of like a breath of fresh air, hopefully. Like, okay, at least I know where to find that stuff. I don't, it's a lot, but I know where to find it. So I hope that this helped. And thank you guys for being here. Without further ado, you have the rest of your days. Just kidding. What can I do for you? Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, as somebody who's not an agent, I don't really see command the way that you guys do. I have command market center, which is a little different. Oh. I was going to say, I unfortunately don't know as much about command, but if you guys can provide insight, I was like, that would be amazing. But
more like recommended. Yeah, they're just kind of like when you're like or
There's something else. It's not. I think it's in the KWB fan, and it says like where it's telling you what I know where it's telling you opportunities and you know list your contacts and your opportunities and
so
you know about the top, like we first signed in and I think that they're just, kind of like, hey, here, you can start working on this.
Yeah, it's,
Destination when you start, and then it's like delayed.
Yeah.
Start by putting yourself in first.
yeah, yeah,
Just put yourself
yeah, that would be, yeah.
and then you can-
Yay, yay, thank you. And that's very true. Also moving forward though, as you guys again get a little bit more comfortable with command or come across a little bit like a little further maybe in that process of what to do with command, Jules and Leah are really great people to talk to. I hate that I can't help as much in that area because I love to help as much as I can, but I just don't see the same side of command that you guys do being on leadership staff as opposed to an agent. So I'm less familiar with a lot of the command questions. Same with DocuSign. I think I have a login to DocuSign, but I'll be honest, I don't know. I've never been in it. So if that tells you anything. But so those questions are very, very really like great to run by Jules and Leah because they again are just super familiar. They actually both I mentioned, but they worked at Scholarboy for I think 5 years plus each. So they both, again, very, very comfortable. Leah, we like to call her like the DocuSign guru, like she knows DocuSign. So if you guys come across questions, she teaches classes on it, but she's also really great just to run individual questions by. Yeah, of course. Anything else? All right, guys. So you can have the rest of your day back. Thank you so much for being here. And as you guys, again, have questions, let me know. I guess one thing I can make note of really quickly is key fobs. If you guys have not gotten a key fob yet, for the double doors at the bottom, our office doors do tend to lock. I struggle with this, but I think it's 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're unlocked, but then weekends and things like that, they'll be locked at the bottom. If you have a key fob though, you'll just swipe it right over. It'll unlock for you and you'll have access to the building. So you guys are more than welcome to be on this floor, even when we're not here as leadership. We're here 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, but if you guys do want to have a key fob, you can grab one from me now. They're free to you again. I would just register you guys as and activate it for you. So if you guys are interested in that, you can follow me in my office and I'll get you one. If you're like, okay, cool, I'll get one. I don't have time today, but I have time and I won't need one in the meantime. You guys can wait on that. It's not required that you get one from me. So just let me know. I will grab you guys Ignite binders because we talked about that already. And you guys can also grab key fobs if you're interested. So yeah, you're welcome.